School shootings in Texas and Florida has one man on a mission to end the violence.
Just fix it. How many more kids have to be killed until we fix it? After Columbine, we should have fixed it. After Sandy Hook, we should have fixed it. If our leaders had fixed it, then my daughter would still be alive. No political parties or organizations have fixed it. I will now be taking this matter into my own hands.
That man right there, Andrew Pollack, he joins us now. He's an activist, and he's the father of slain Marjorie Stoneman Douglas high school student Meadow. We've seen Meadow's picture. We've heard you talk. You had a message for the president, and now you have an 8-point plan. Tell us, first of all, how are you doing? How's your family?
Well, it's tough. You know, every day is a challenge. You know, it's not like when people say it gets easier with time. When you lose a child, it doesn't get easier.
Yeah. I can't imagine.
When you were at the White House and it was all broadcast live, you and your sons were right there, and you said, let's put politics aside, let's just fix it. I'm glad that you hammer that message home in that. You've got 8 points. We're going to talk about 4 of them. And if you would, we'll run through them real fast, and then we'll go back and talk about them. First of all, you say secure the perimeter, control the flow, protect the interior, and develop the school safety volunteer network. Let's start with secure the perimeter. How do you do that? Well,
you ever hear of like neighborhood watch?
Sure.
So we're doing now, parents can volunteer. We're going to do a class watch where, like, say you could go an hour in the morning, like a half hour before school starts, and then stay till a half hour after.
So different parents would volunteer for different times of the day.
It's just a deterrent right at the perimeter of the school, because most of these people that do these mass shootings are cowards. So if they see a parent, even a grandparent, I have my mom who's like 80. She's like, what could I do? We have an army of grandparents that live in their 55 and older community. They want to go and volunteer at the school.
Are they armed?
No, they're not armed.
All right, so
but it's a deterrent.
Right. So let's talk about the next point on your plan, which is control the flow.
Control the flow is you have to have entry points. You can't have 6 entry points for people to enter the school. That's what happened at Douglas. There was a few entries, and also the gates were open. You know, you can't have gates open and doors open at schools.
And we just saw a shooting in Texas right after this, same thing.
Yeah, and I was just in Texas, too. I went to comfort the families out there, and my heart broke for them. And it's just a sad situation that it keeps happening.
Yeah, what did you say to the president when you were in the Oval Office? What was that conversation like?
Well, a good thing that when I went to the president, he listened. So when I was there, the president, I spoke with him about forming a commission, and he went and did that. He listened, and he formed a commission with his cabinet members, and they're looking into school safety. So, but that's at a federal level. But what parents could do now, what I've learned since my daughter was murdered, is you have to get involved at a local level. You have to get involved with your school board, your PTA, your PTO, and you have to make sure that they have the same ideology as you do, because some of these school board members, they just don't feel the same way we do about school safety.
And you also say, and I agree with you wholeheartedly, protect the interior, place armed guards within every school.
Yeah, that's very important to me, the armed guards. I'm working on a program now in Florida with arming veterans and retired law enforcement. So it's like dual purpose. We could give veterans a purpose, they could work at schools, and retired law enforcement.
So you have a program where it says, so if I just got out of the Marines and I want to go do this, you'll train me for school activities?
Well, right now you had that sheriff on the air in Polk County. So I've been working with Sheriff Grady in Polk County, and the first cadets, about 80 of them, will be going through the class on June 4th. They start up in Polk, and they're going to be distributed throughout the county in the public schools and private sector.
There's been some talk that some teachers should be armed. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with it right now, but there's plenty of veterans that we could use in those positions.
Right, especially if they become teachers, if they're trained. But Andrew, you're looking at this, let's secure our schools now. But other want to say, let's look at video games. Let's look at violence in movies. That takes too long. You're saying we got to do this today.
Well, when I was in Texas, my heart was broken. And those people, they have one agenda in Texas, and that's they want their schools safe, they want their kids safe.
Right.
So to me, we need metal detectors at the schools. And And if I had a child right now, there's no shot that I'm sending my kid to school without a metal detector.
It would be money well spent. Andrew, for folks looking in, do you have a website with the plan on it?
Sure. You could go to americansforclass.org. You could look at my 8-point plan, and you could see what we're doing, because I'm recruiting an army of Americans right now, because Americans, we want our kids safe, and we have to do it right now.
And we want to help. All right, Andrew Pollack, we thank you very much, and so sorry for your loss.
Yes.
Right. Indeed.
Thanks.
But you're taking action, which is admirable.